Hey guys, Deslater Magic here, and I'm pretty surprised at how things are going down in the last 2 days. Could have phrased that better. I'm actually talking about Hour of Devastation. Now, for the most part, the last couple sets were very well designed. I mean, Kaladesh was good, vehicles were kind of whatever, energy was, turned out pretty good. Well, obviously. Free casting was crap, 8th Revolt was pushed, a lot of broken stuff, and then the couple sets before that all had bans. So, how great was it? Maybe not amazing. But if you did take out the couple problem cards, very good design, very fun to play with, good mechanics, just well-designed sets, basically, sparing a couple individual examples. And I would say that description goes double for Hour of Devastation. Ever since we saw the spoilers, because obviously not a whole lot of people have been playing a lot of Constructed yet with it, but just looking at it, people are like, yeah, I mean, I want that, that looks fun, I might be able to build something with that, this is wide open, that interacts with anything, just looks like a fun building set. But there was the huge speed bump of, oh crap, it's the 8th set to be legal. People have the least amount of reason to use cards from this set, because they have 7 other sets to use the cards from. So from a price standpoint, I thought it would just crash and burn. Plus, it's in the same block with Amonkhet, one of the lowest price sets to ever be released in the history of the game. Now, once again, nothing particularly wrong with Amonkhet, except for the free casting. But, it's fun, the mechanics are cool, flavor's cool, storyline's cool, everything's cool. Except the box EV. Nothing cool about the box EV. Not remotely cool. The 4-digit amount of money I have lost on Amonkhet, not cool. Nothing cool about that. In fact, seriously, screw you, Wizards. So did we really want a worthless set with nothing worthwhile in it that nobody just rushes out to play the primary mechanics with and nobody buys it so it's worthless and everybody loses money on it? Or do we want a horribly pushed, overpowered, unfair, dominating turn 4 garbage like the Kaladesh block? I don't want either. Let's put it right in the middle. And honestly, Hour of Devastation kind of does seem by itself in the middle. So that's actually interesting. Plus, it made Amonkhet a little bit better. I'm sure we'll see a little bit of price increases from certain cards in Amonkhet. Also, from talks about the standard meta, I mean, obviously zombies, but blue-black zombies instead of mono zombies or black-white zombies. So something changed a little bit, and the overall strategy, pace, and everything, it changed enough that you could almost call it a new deck. But other than that, people are saying, oh, I want to build mill, I want to build that, I want to build this, oh, this card, I can base this on this, oh, I can finally play this because this card is in Hour of Devastation. So it actually was so wide open for a building, like, rogue deck kind of thing that people are actually excited, and apparently that translated into them actually buying cards. Now this is crazy. Even going back to, like, BFZ, I had trouble selling cards in the first 48 hours. So the Friday of FNM, it makes sense. People just picked up cards. Maybe they haven't picked them up. Maybe they're picking up their boxes at FNM. Maybe they skipped FNM because it's impossible to scramble to get a deck together. But then by the next week, by the next Friday, they want cards. So by like Sunday or Monday, they're ordering cards. That's how it always has been. I thought that's how it always will be. It is now Saturday night, and as of about Saturday afternoon, I am almost completely sold out of every single card that I was selling. Yeah, in about 24 hours, I have sold out of almost all my cards. We're talking singles here, people, and it was only a $1,000 order, so it's easier to move that, but usually, I mean, I'm not kidding when I say, like, nothing moves. I think the last set for Amonkhet, I listed most of it at, like, midnight, like, the soonest that I could, and by the morning, by 10 in the morning, because that's what I consider to be the morning, because that's when I get up, I think I had 2 sales orders. Well, so far I've had like 24 at least, which, obviously at 1,000 cards or $1,000 worth of cards doesn't result in a whole lot of rares or mythics going up. But, single play sets, double play sets of stuff, that's about it. Still trading with people to try to make full sets. But they're just moving. I mean, everything from the $3 cards up to like the $22 cards are moving and at that price. Now that I didn't see coming because, Hour of Devastation just looked kind of okay on price. I didn't run a box EV in the last week. Probably should do that. That might even be the next video. But it just looked okay. I mean, it wasn't BFZ's $185 a box return on day one. But it wasn't Amonkhet's like $80 box EV on day one or whatever the hell it was. I mean, whatever it was bad. So people aren't even having time to undercut each other, which is how the prices drop. So, What the heck happened? Is Hour of Devastation just that good? Is it because the cards are in Modern? I think both of those are maybe a factor. Mostly the Modern thing. I mean, there's certain cards where people are just putting them straight into Modern. Like Fraying Sanity, straight into Modern. Absolutely no question about it. That's like Fatal Push level Modern. It's like, are you running this archetype? Then you're running this card. Have fun. There's a couple others like that, and I think people want them quick before they, sell out? I mean, it's not like 2 months from now you can't pick up rares from the standard set that's currently legal. I don't think I've ever really seen that happen. That said, I mean, a lot of major vendors are completely sold out of Fraying Sanities, so there's that. So will they order a second wave? Are standard booster boxes that are the second set in a block actually print to demand? I don't know. Honestly, I don't think even Wizards knows. If they are, they sure as hell aren't saying it. So it's possible that the prices will still fall off, but nowhere near as quickly as any other set. I mean, where you're losing like 5-10% per day, that just isn't happening. So the cards are flying. People are willing to pay, moderately okay prices for them. We're talking $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 for a good card, and honestly, I think that's reasonable. People are even snapping up like the $2 cards. I mean, they're just going. I just didn't see it coming. I mean, the other thing is it's a 184 card set in reality. I mean, I know it says 199, but that's like basic lands because they didn't recycle them. Doesn't even count. So 184 cards. I think some of those are even unique to the Planeswalker deck, so it's probably like 180 cards. That is tiny. So that means if I say I'm going to order 10 grand and open, what would it be, 160 boxes or something like that? Well, then guess what? I'm going to get, 30, 40% more of every individual rare than I would from a 252 card set, I think it is. Just basically anything bigger. So small sets are crap. They sell terribly because everybody effectively mathematically over-opens every individual card. Now, the smarter vendors know to cut their numbers. So I did. I mean, I did that because it looked like crap, and I thought no matter what's in it, it can't possibly sell very well. That's why I'm having such a hard time figuring out how the hell I'm wrong. I mean, I guess I'm happy, but I'm still confused. I don't like to not know what's going on or a reason for something that's occurring. I will say, though, that the overall income so far from the set looks pretty good for me personally, almost exclusively because I pulled 4 insanely expensive masterpieces. I mean, in an order as small as mine, yeah, that makes a difference. So with it being a small set, 8th to be legal, 2nd in a block, and Amonkhet was garbage. That's 4 really good reasons that it should be just dead on arrival. Absolutely nobody touching it. But that's the thing. Vendors have been getting screwed over for at least a year to a year and a half with Wizards releasing just not good enough sets, overprinting everything, lying to people, dropping values, you name it. I mean, MM3 was lovely, but like EMA was crap, Conspiracy wasn't great. I mean, that one was kind of okay. Last couple standard sets didn't sell very well. OGW wasn't even that great. So we've been losing money as single sellers quite a bit. So now we're like, okay, a new thing is coming out. How do we avoid losing more money? And I have a feeling that the reason that cards seem to be selling really, really well, maintaining prices or even going up in price a little bit, is basically because the vendors are like, give me 1/4 of my normal order. Like, they ain't touching it. I mean, everybody knows with MM3, you can turn around on Monday and say, I want more, and it's gone, it's sold out. But with the standard set, if you call them up on the next Wednesday and say, we need 30 more cases of booster boxes or something just absurd like that, they'll send them to you. They have them. They exist. Standard sets are not hard to find. They just aren't. That's why I kind of wonder if they're print to demand or not, but whatever. I have a feeling they are. I heard it comes in waves. They come from Wizards in waves. I just don't know if they could print them and get them here from Belgium quick enough. I don't know. So if everybody's like, hey, if this set is some kind of miracle like Aether Revolt, nobody saw that coming, where they just pushed the power levels so stupidly high, the cards were so brokenly overpowered, that of course there was value in the set, and of course it was worth something. I still managed to, I think, just barely above break even on that or something. I don't know. Either way, I think people are like super conservative and they say, well, we'd rather miss out on making a little bit of profit than force ourselves into losing money, like actually doing work and selling cards and mailing them out, but also losing money. That is unacceptable. So to lower their exposure, to lower their risk, everybody ordered less. That's my theory. There's less to go around. There's the same or lower demand, but the supply way outstripped it. The just complete and utter lack of pre-orders. Oh, and by pre-orders, I mean us to the distributors, not like customer pre-orders. So that's my theory about why it's selling so well. I mean, there are like 3-cost board wipes in it, so that's a factor. Like I said, modern cards or just cards that people can get excited about. Like a 3-1 with flash that you can cycle that replaces itself like a cantrip for 3, but also works like an inverse counterspell that only works on abilities. That's like so far out of left field, but so welcome. It's not overpowered. It's just like, oh, that's neat. I could use that in standard. I could use that in modern. I want a copy. Boom, $3 card. It's really that simple. Just make fun, interesting, but not overpowered cards. Just something unique, something that hasn't been printed in a while, and put it in the set. I mean, it's not a mystery. It's not that difficult. Although, well, look at the results. Apparently Wizards does find it difficult. But they did seem to put a lot of stuff like that in there, like the, oh, this board wipe costs 6, but it really costs 3 if the board stays out of control and there's 10 permanents. That's just such a genius card. It's just so cool of a card. But it's not just, haha, it's a kill spell that costs 1. Woo. Like, that's so easy. You could hand a gorilla a typewriter and he could just pound on it and come up with something like that. I mean, that is like chimp level easy. Yes, I know gorillas are apes and not chimps. Hey, did you know that up until like 1910 or something, everybody in the world thought that gorillas were a myth and didn't exist? I am 105% serious about that. Look it up. That is a thing. People thought gorillas were a myth. Big, strong, gigantic, human-like, black-haired, crazy, smelly apes. People are like, that's ridiculous. These days, honestly, I think a gorilla could, like, get citizenship in the US, get his own YouTube vlog, and then qualify for a boat loan. And I do mean in that order. You know, actually what's funny is go to YouTube and just type in monkey boo. But back on the topic of HOU, they did get way more creative than 8th Revolt, where it's just, you kill stuff and it costs 1. Wonder if people want it. 8th Hub, it's a land and it taps for all colors all the time. Wonder if people want that. Yeah, that's the easy route. So thankfully, they've apparently learned how to design cards and put them in Hour of Devastation. So between that and the vendors cutting way the hell back, I think that explains what I'm seeing. I hope so, otherwise I'm completely in the dark on this. But like I said, it's money in my pocket. I don't care. I'm probably going to make a 15% profit on the set. Ooh, $150, whatever. I'm buying like 10 grand worth of Iconic Masters. If that set is bad, we're going to have the All Iconic Masters Wizards Go to Hell channel 24/7. This won't even be a Magic channel anymore. This will be the Why Wizards of the Coast literally bankrupted me all day 24/7 live stream. I wouldn't even be able to sleep if I lose like $4,000 on a $10,000 order. Trust me. So still not real confident about the future, especially with the known descriptions of Iconic Masters. But for now, focusing on HOU, if I had to give a prediction for the future, everybody's going to reorder on Monday because they're all out of Fraying Sanity, Solemnity, everything, the actual card Hour of Devastation. A lot of cards like that are already completely sold out at vendors that have no business selling out. Like, people have sold 170 of them, like, play sets. That's a lot. Like, that's all of them. I mean, you can only open so many in 48 hours, and they sold all of them. So, needless to say, now they need more, assuming that those aren't the only cards that sell. Otherwise, it still wouldn't be profitable to open an entire box. So what I think is going to happen is a drastic overcorrection. Everybody's going to freak. They're all going to order a hell of a lot. Wizards is going to get it out as quickly as he possibly can to the distributors. The distributors who were sent too much in the first place, obviously, because that's how that works if you're not familiar, they probably have a lot in stock. They'll liquidate the rest. Well, not really even liquidate. They'll just sell it for the exact same price. Kind of the opposite of liquidating it. Those will hit the market, so I think within 2 weeks we're going to see a lot of pretty drastic price drops in HOU. So if you don't feel like building something right now, just run one of your existing decks, maybe open or trade for a couple cards, improve it a little bit. I wouldn't necessarily build a new deck quite yet. And if the prices don't go down in 2 weeks, I mean, you still got the good portion of, 3 months before Ixalan comes out, then you can build whatever you want. So if you are into saving the most amount of money and some of the cards you want are kind of expensive right now, I would wait just a little bit. I think Wizards will print this to death if they're capable of doing so. because they see the demand for the modern staples and a couple other hot cards. And yeah, that they're going to overcorrect, they're going to print way too much, and it's going to bottom out, just like every other set. The average box EV for all of the sets out right now is like $63 or something really close to that. That's the average box EV of all the boxes legal and standard, the other 7. Yeah, about 20 bucks below cost at the distributor level. Why would I expect this set to do any differently? So I think I've explained why we're seeing what we're seeing right now, which is very surprising. But in the very near future, that's my forecast. So I'm right about 75% of the time with most of my predictions. So, I mean, I wouldn't bet your life on it or really any amount of money. But, you know, it's interesting information, so take it for what you will. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.